Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. And you know what today is? Well, it's just going to be lovely. It's election day here in the United States. Tuesday, November 8th, 2022, and people are going to rush off to the polls. And let me say this. You already know. You think it's going to make any difference at all in the grand scheme of things? Are we going to create some kind of great change? How about absolutely freaking not at all, zero? Because the real government is hidden in plain sight, and that is the central banks of the world who dictate it all. Everything else is just theater, people, honestly. And I would be willing to bet that 90% of you who follow this blog are very clear on who runs the situation, who runs the world, what entities are pushing the world into this new agenda, this new paradigm, this new world order that we've all known about for quite a long time. And let me tell you something, people, it's in our face. So here I am. Here it's 5:51 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sun's just about coming up. It's kind of nice, actually. Anyway, let us put a few things together. So, as I said, this is election day, and in the grand scheme of things, it's going to matter this much: zero. Your fate has already been decided by the real ruling body of the world. Collectively, that is world control, which is central banks. And of course, look, I've told all of you for the longest time, we have to look out for each other, okay? Because our politicians, I don't care how much you love them, worship them, pray to them, whatever it might be, they do not have your best interest in mind. We got to look out for each other. We need each other. Why do I leave you off every single Friday with love each other, care about each other, and be charitable? Because that's the only way to really make a difference here. That's why I started this MELTDOWN thing here, a simple concept for change. Do good. Do good every day. Look for an opportunity to do good, and we can change the world. But if you believe for a nanosecond, you know how I love that, that your vote is going to make any difference at all in the grand scheme of things, and you are deluded. I'm sorry to tell you that, because it will not make any difference at all. So, with that said here, let's look over here at the market. It's not a great setup this morning. Stock futures are higher after yesterday's rally, after the Central Bank of Canada, was paraded out to say, hey, guess what? Moving forward, we're not going to be so aggressive. We may not be so aggressive with regard to raising rates. And that's going to be the narrative change here. The narrative change, and we're going to hear this throughout the criminal crime syndicate known as central bankers, who are the real government. They're going to start changing the narrative, regardless of anything else. And they're going to continue to lie to you. Oh, inflation's getting better. Meanwhile, there's no end in sight here. Inflation has nowhere to go, but much, much higher, along with energy. Energy, to me, right now, is going to be used, weaponized. They're going to weaponize energy to crush. Look, this is a multifaceted attack on the middle class. The middle class is getting bombarded. What did we find out this morning? Here we go. Loan delinquencies are on the rise. I mean, look, people can't keep up. They're borrowing beyond their eyeballs. They're struggling to make ends meet here. Food inflation is out of control. And energy inflation, we haven't seen anything yet. Nothing. Zero. And, I always bring up my European friends because they're getting hit the hardest right now. But it's coming right here, too. Believe me, don't think that we're immune here in the United States. What is, and I'm gonna ask you this question again, because let's see how many of you get it right this time. What is the United States' largest export product? Any idea? Yeah. It's inflation. Exactly. The United States exports inflation to the rest of the world. And how do they do this? By the U.S. dollar remaining as the world reserve currency. People don't understand mostly the power that gives the central bank issuing the world reserve currency, number one. Number two, to the nation, honestly, that can benefit or does benefit from this mechanism here, but that doesn't stop or change the fact that it is the debt-based economic model at its core that is responsible for everything that we're seeing today here. And again, everything you want to look at. Look, let's talk about the economy real quick. Every single forward-looking economic indicator, every one, there's not even one as an exception, all are pointing towards things getting worse. With regard to inflation indicators, the Federal Reserve's favorite one, consumption expenditures, personal consumption expenditures, it's early, I've only had one cup of coffee so far, is pointing straight up. So, look, yes, the narrative is going to change. You're going to hear, inflation is getting better. Meanwhile, you're going to go to the store or try to, make ends meet and say, it's not, where is it though? They're going to try to convince you that what you're seeing, as always, is not real. They're going to tell you to look here when you should be looking in the completely opposite direction. This is what they always do. Anyway, going back to the market just real quick. Although stock futures are higher, the 10-year yield is 4.18 last time I looked at it, and the relative strength of the dollar is stronger. I would expect that the MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, is going to be higher today. We're probably going to be over 290. I would imagine right at the open here at the market. This is real time. It's in real time. If you click on the link down here to the MMRI, you can see this in real time. Anyway, look, unless some kind of miracle happens here, we're going to break 300 again, and 300 takes us into extreme risk with regard to this market. So on the back of stock futures being higher, as I said, 10-year yield 4.18, stronger dollar. Crude oil is under pressure a little bit. Gold and silver under pressure a little bit. Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies under pressure as well. So the setup this morning, although again out of the gate, at least at this point here, it appears that stocks are going to open higher. It's not a great setup. Let's see what they do. And you know the game here. What did they do yesterday? It's an astonishing thing. And it's a scenario that plays out time and time again. Stocks open higher. During the middle of the day, we went negative. And then all of a sudden, they float out, they're speaking, their mouthpiece from the Canadian Central Bank. And, it really worked. I mean, look at the market. We just took off yesterday. So they can they have a lot of tools in their toolbox. As we all understand, people, look, I know I make a lot of fun of this stuff and I joke around. The central bank and all central banks have one tool, and that is how they manipulate debt, but not just that, how they manipulate the minds of men and women. All right. They float out these creatures. This one says, it's always a tag team too. This one says this, another one says something polar opposite, or they're both on the same page. It's always a tag team effect too. Interesting how this plays out, but that's what they do. That's what they freaking do to keep things managed in this sick, twisted environment. Look, let me just enlighten you just a little tiny bit in case you don't know already. The global economy is in free fall today, and it's accelerating as global debt continues to balloon. The issue of global debt ballooning is at its core the greatest threat to human life. You all know that. Way worse. As a clear and present danger, the global debt bubble surpasses global warming, surpasses a nuclear exchange by exponents. This is going to occur. It's going to happen at one time of their choosing. Again, you and I have a couple of tools to look at. The best tool, bar none, is the MMRI. You all know that. If you want to look at a couple of other things, you can look at global bond yields. You can see what they're doing. You can look at the U.S. 10-year yield, which is the benchmark, and the relative strength of the dollar. Why the relative strength of the dollar? Because it's always the same. It's the knee-jerk reaction into the perceived safety of the dollar. So you and I, by just following these few metrics, are so far ahead of the curve. And I'm trying my hardest to make this simple for you. That's why these modifications to the MMRI have been made recently. The way it's calculated, exactly the same. I do not believe it can be improved on. I'm telling you the truth. But now we have a long-term chart And we also have a 15-minute chart. So, look, all of us get it. We know what's going on. And I think we're prepared for it, you and I, mentally, spiritually, physically. We're making alliances with like-minded people. We're keeping some cash around in the event of a meltdown in the debt market. Because a meltdown in the debt market is going to lock up the entire financial system. You know that. That was the issue the last time. The credit markets were freezing up. Inter-institutional lending was stopping. The whole system was locking up. And what that means is everything just stops. Transactions stop, period. Nothing, zero. Your cash don't work. Your ATM cards won't work. Your debit cards don't work. Cash would actually work. And so you need to have a little bit on hand here. Non-perishables need to be in your repertoire here. We have to always have the high ground, people. In the event it doesn't happen, what do you got to lose? In the event it does happen, you are ready for it. And anyway, look, with regard to the charade here of the midterm elections, okay, whatever. Ain't going to make any difference here in the long run. None and zero. It's not going to stop central banks from moving forward with their plan to inflate, with their plan here to become the lenders and buyers of last resort, their plan to bring the global economy and financial system and the people with it to its knees, to create slaves to the system from sea to shining sea. This is what they want. And this is the goal they have had in mind since their inception. Don't take my word for it. Look it up for yourself. Understand central banking, why they were created, and what their eventual goals were and are. And they're being fulfilled right in our freaking faces, people. All right, look, you know exactly what to look for. I've set the stage for you. Let's see how this plays out today. Let's see who they float out today or tomorrow, what they're going to do here, because it's not going to change anything, all right? Slowing the pace of rate hikes, you really think that's going to change anything? It's going to stop the root cause of the problem, global debt, which is completely out of control. The side effect of that, surging inflation here, which you and I knew was going to hit us at one point. They can't stop it. I don't care how much talk they want to put out there, how much nonsense, garbage, dog shit, cat shit, hippo shit, reptile shit, monkey shit, insect shit, whatever shit they want to throw out there, you can make a difference because they're not addressing the root cause, which is, of course, a currency free fall. A currency free fall being caused by hyper-ballooning debt and dilution of the cash pool worldwide. And they're going to continue to inflate that and suck the purchasing power out of the currency. You know all this already, but I don't know, people. I don't know. We got to band together and we got to be ready. There's not enough of us right now to do a damn thing about it, unfortunately. This channel has, 236,000? If I had 236 million, maybe we could do something. But we got to keep making noise, and we are making a difference, you and me. We're making a difference here by getting this information out there, by letting people hear this. People know the truth when they hear it. It's that simple. I really believe that. And I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think. Comment. Please share the video. I will see all of you at the end of the day. This guy here loves you a lot.